The story kicks off with a professional race car driver named Sonny Hayes. At the moment, he's tearing through a high-stakes race at breakneck speed. One of his rival teammates has just surged ahead, forcing Sonny to push his limits and reclaim his lead. With zero hesitation and not once hitting the brakes, Sonny drives harder, pushing his car to the edge. His team watches nervously, worried by his fearless and aggressive approach. But this bold, no-holds-barred style is exactly what sets Sonny Hayes apart from the rest. Through sheer control and unmatched speed, Sonny manages to pull ahead, putting his team back in the leading position. He even radios his teammates saying, "Hold on to this lead, don't let it slip away." Eventually the race ends and their team comes out on top. But Sonny has one peculiar trait. He never touches the trophies. For him, it's never about glory, only the paycheck. The moment he receives his payment, he walks away without a second glance. This team had brought Sonny in on a one-race contract, and now that the deal is over, so is his involvement. Later, we find Sonny sitting alone in a modest laundromat. An old friend, Ruben, walks in to meet him. Ruben runs a struggling Formula One team that's buried in $300 million worth of losses. They're dead last in the rankings, and with only 9 races left in the season, they need at least one win to survive. If they fail, the board will likely shut them down and sell the entire operation. That's why Ruben has come to find Sonny. He needs a miracle, but Sonny isn't biting. He turns him down. Ruben keeps pressing, reminding Sonny of his years of experience. He points out that their current driver is just a rookie, and with Sonny on board, they could actually have a fighting chance. After making his case, Ruben leaves behind a set of flight tickets, hoping Sonny might have a change of heart. The scene then cuts to the team's rookie driver, Joshua Pierce, practicing laps on the track. After he finishes, the crew examines the car for flaws and potential upgrades. Their technical director, Kate, asks Joshua for feedback, but he's unable to provide anything useful, despite being the one behind the wheel. Joshua's manager pulls him aside for a private word. He warns him that the team might soon be sold. If that happens, Joshua will need to prove he deserves a spot in F1, or he might lose his seat before his career even begins. Right then, Sonny Hayes arrives. Ruben greets him with excitement, but the rest of the crew looks surprised and skeptical. Ruben announces that Sonny is here for a test run, but nobody seems thrilled, not even the team principal. Sonny shrugs and says, "All right, just give me Joshua's lap time. If I'm more than a second slower, I'll walk away on my own." He carefully studies every aspect of Joshua's lap and the car's performance, then steps onto the track. The mechanics and engineers start placing small bets, curious to see how the veteran performs. But the moment Sonny starts his lap, his car spins out in the middle of the track. Quickly recovering, he straightens the car and begins again. Initially, he's struggling, driving slower than Joshua's benchmark. But in the final sector, Sonny pushes hard. Just as he finds his rhythm, he crashes head-on into the barrier. The team runs to check on him, but Sonny stays cool. Calmly, he starts listing all the issues with the car's setup. And when his lap time is revealed, he's actually half a second faster than the target. Next, we return to Joshua. His manager advises him to start working on his public image and fan engagement. At home, Joshua vents to his mother, confessing that if the team keeps losing, his spot in F1 could disappear. Now, on top of everything, some washed-up old guy has joined the team. Meanwhile, word spreads through the media. Sonny Hayes is making a comeback in Formula One. 30 years ago, his career ended after a terrible crash. He made a brief return a decade later, but nothing came of it. Since then, Sonny has done everything, even worked as a cab driver in New York. Now, he's joining the worst-performing team in F1 history, a team that's never even cracked the top 10. Soon after, a press conference is held with both Sonny and Joshua present. Joshua, dripping with sarcasm, tells the press, "Looks like our team is giving out senior discounts now." Reporters turn their questions to Sonny, digging into his past, his reputation as a gambler, his 3 failed marriages, his life off the grid. Then comes race day. Sonny shows up at the track before Joshua. Joshua's mother insists he apologize to Sonny for his rude comments at the press conference. He does, reluctantly and insincerely. Ruben and Sonny both feel the pressure building. Just before the race begins, Ruben introduces Sonny to an investor named Peter Banning, the only board member still rooting for the team's success. The race is about to begin. Sonny, now seated in the car, suddenly starts to doubt himself. "What am I doing here?" he wonders. The formation lap starts. It's where drivers warm up their tires, but Sonny doesn't move. Commentators take note, assuming he's too rusty or unfamiliar with today's F1 cars. Then, suddenly, he guns it. He lines up last on the grid, and everyone realizes it was all a ruse. His tires are now much warmer than the others, giving him an early edge. Sonny starts climbing the ranks, overtaking car after car. He even passes a Red Bull. But once other drivers' tires heat up, they start taking their positions back. Meanwhile, Joshua pits. His stop takes 7 seconds. Sonny comes in next. His stop drags past 9 seconds. Now both teammates are side by side on the track. Joshua radios in, demanding Sonny let him pass. Sonny refuses. The two begin racing each other aggressively. Ruben, watching from the pit wall, is fuming. In the chaos, Sonny and Joshua collide. Both cars are forced to retire. Joshua storms back to the garage, furious at the entire situation situation, but Sonny simply says, mistakes happen. This time, it was yours. Then he turns to the team principal and warns, don't you ever tell me to give up my position again. Later, Joshua confronts Sonny again, but as soon as he spots the cameras, he puts on a fake smile for the press. Sonny stares at him and says, what have you even done that's worth smiling about? No one on the track respects us, he adds. Afterward, Sonny heads for an ice bath, but Ruben is still livid. He unloads on Sonny, already regretting ever bringing him in. Sonny, unfazed, asks about Kate, the team's technical director and the first woman to ever hold the role in F1. Ruben replies, she's not going to fall for your old tricks. So Sonny goes to see Kate himself. He asks her one question. How did you get this far? Kate already knows Ruben warned her about Sonny, but Sonny skips the small talk. He wants answers. We can't outrun the other teams on the straightaways. Our only advantage lies in the corners. That's why I need this car redesigned immediately, Sonny insists. But Kate responds sharply, I'll listen to your ideas only after you finish a race. What follows is a stark contrast between the two drivers. Joshua trains intensely using cutting-edge simulators, while Sonny relies on instinct and old-school techniques. Their lifestyles couldn't be more different. Slowly, Joshua starts observing Sonny, studying his past, his habits, how he prepares. Race day arrives again. Joshua tells Sonny, maybe today we'll race clean, no heroics. But once the green flag drops, Sonny and Joshua quickly find themselves battling wheel to wheel once more. Then disaster strikes. Sonny suffers a tire puncture. He suggests switching to soft tires. The team pushes back, warning that in this heat, soft tires won't hold up. So Sonny simply refuses to push the car harder. The team principal yells at him, but in the end, they have no choice but to follow Sonny's call. He switches to soft tires and returns to the track. Next, Sonny deliberately nudges his front wing against another car, triggering a safety car period that slows the entire field. He pits and gets his wing replaced, then repeats the same tactic. Another collision, another safety car. This time, his risky strategy works in Joshua's favor. Sonny radios in, tell Joshua to keep pushing but save his tires. Joshua is running 10th at this point. Then Sonny crashes into the barriers on purpose, bringing out a third safety car. This gives Joshua a perfect opportunity to pit for fresh tires. If his stop is under 3 seconds, he can maintain 10th place. It works perfectly. Joshua emerges from the pit still in 10th. For the very first time in the team's history, Ruben's crew finishes inside the top 10. Everyone erupts in celebration, but Sonny turns to Joshua and says, don't get too excited about finishing 10th. Sonny reminds Kate of their agreement. And this time, Kate actually begins working on redesigning the car based on his feedback. Next, the story shifts to the Italian Grand Prix. Sonny's strategy is similar to before. Everyone will be watching me, watching my reckless driving. That way, Joshua can be the one to take the win. The race starts. Using different tactics, Sonny starts helping Joshua climb the ranks. His primary target today is Max Verstappen. Sonny slows Max down strategically, allowing Joshua to move up to P4. But then the weather changes. Rain starts pouring on the track. Drivers must switch to wet tires, but Joshua stays out. Pushing himself up to P2, Sonny sets his sights on Verstappen again, planning to hold him back long enough to push Joshua into first place. Out of the pit stop, Sonny comes out ahead of Verstappen and deliberately slows him down. But by the rules, he eventually has to let Verstappen pass. Joshua trails close behind, and Sonny sets him up for the perfect overtake. He tells Joshua, wait for the straight, be patient, but Joshua doesn't listen. He rushes the move too soon. The result, a violent, terrifying crash. Sonny immediately stops his car, rushes to Joshua's flaming wreckage, and pulls him out. Joshua is rushed to the hospital. Joshua's mother confronts Sonny, furious. Why did you push my son to take such a deadly risk? He could have died. She refuses to hear any explanation and warns Sonny never to let it happen again. Sonny faces the media, where reporters unleash accusations, blaming him for Joshua's accident. Meanwhile, Joshua watches from home, knowing he'll be sidelined for the next 3 races. During this time, Kate begins making new modifications to the car. Sonny rallies the team, preparing them for what he calls Plan C combat. In the next race, Sonny finishes 9th. After that, he climbs to 7th. Meanwhile, Joshua continues his recovery. The entire crew works harder than ever. Soon, Sonny manages to finish 5th, but instead of feeling inspired, Joshua grows jealous. 3 races later, Joshua returns to the team. Before the race, he watches fans cheering for Sonny, and envy burns inside him. On the track, Joshua pushes his speed, aggressively chasing Sonny. Then, in a reckless move, he collides with Sonny, knocking him out of the race. Everyone is furious. Even Sonny loses his temper. He yells at Joshua, don't you ever pull a stunt like that again? If you want to ruin your career, go ahead. I've seen thousands of so-called talents like you come and go, but don't you dare betray Ruben, and don't you dare betray this team. Kate watches everything unfold. Later, everyone heads to Las Vegas. Sonny and Joshua both receive invitation cards. It turns out Kate called them there intentionally. She says, if you two don't pull off a miracle, we'll all be out on the streets. Kate decides to settle who will be the #1 driver driver with a game of poker. While playing, Kate asks Sunny and Joshua to open up about their issues. Sunny advises Joshua to leave social media and his phone behind, and focus only on driving. Joshua wins the poker game and walks off to a sponsor's party. After he leaves, Sunny flirts with Kate. Kate shuts him down cold, saying she'd never do that with a teammate, especially after he just lost. Then Sunny reveals his cards. He had actually won. Later that night, Sunny wakes from a nightmare about his accident. He and Kate step out onto the balcony and start talking. Sunny opens up about his past. When I was younger, I was lightning fast. I was going to be the next Formula One champion, but one crash changed everything. I lost everything, Sunny admitted quietly. Even my passion for racing. Eventually, I started driving again. Any car I could get my hands on. And in those moments behind the wheel, I felt happy. As he spoke, his voice cracked with emotion. Back then, while racing, there were times when time itself seemed to slow down. My heartbeat would steady. Everything became crystal clear. Now I'm chasing that feeling again. I don't know when it'll return, but I want to experience it once more. Just then, Ruben appeared and asked Kate if Sunny was inside. Ruben revealed troubling news. Formula One officials had received a tip-off that the modifications they'd made to their cars were illegal. Someone from within the team had leaked their secrets. Because of this, their cars were under review and they'd be forced to race with the old models. Ruben was furious. We didn't break any rules, he insisted. Everything was pre-approved. The race began with the odds stacked heavily against them. Sunny didn't even have his lucky cards, the small talismans he always kept with him. He started driving recklessly, ignoring the crew's instructions. Because of his wild speed, Sunny crashed hard. At the hospital, Ruben visited him and asked, why do we even play this sport? He showed Sunny the medical reports. Sunny had a fractured neck and due to a severe head injury, risked losing his vision, paralysis, or even death. But these weren't new findings. These reports were from 30 years ago, meaning Sunny should never have raced again. Ruben finally gave up. As of today, you're no longer part of the team. Joshua, overhearing this from outside, quietly walked away and threw himself into non-stop practice. Meanwhile, an investor named Peter visited Sunny. He revealed that the team had been on the verge of collapse. But after Sunny's arrival, interest from buyers surged. Peter made Sunny an offer. I'll create a new team. It'll be mine, but you'll be the team principal. We'll have a real shot at the next championship. Don't worry about Ruben. I'll give him an honorary title. Peter wanted to finalize the deal after the next race. He also confessed that he was the one who forged the fake documents to sabotage Ruben and ensure the team's failure so he could take over. The scene shifted to the final race. Before the start, Joshua confessed to his mom the accident had been his fault. Sunny had told him to wait, but he hadn't listened. Joshua dismissed his manager, saying all the media drama was noise. He just wanted to focus on racing. Before the race, Joshua took his whole crew jogging, a new habit he'd picked up from Sunny. Meanwhile, Peter prepared to seal his deal, and Ruben knew the team was slipping through his fingers. But then, Sunny Hayes made his comeback. He presented a legal document stating Ruben and his team bore no responsibility for Sunny's condition. Ruben brushed it off. Forget that paper. Sunny stood firm. Even if it kills me, I'm racing. Then came good news. Their modified cars were reinstated. The supposed documents were proven fake. Peter was shocked to see Sunny back on track. The final race of the season began. During the race, Sunny felt a jolt in his body but ignored it, pressing on. As usual, Sunny's job was to slow down the leaders so Joshua could take the lead. Without a single tire change, Joshua climbed to P1. But soon, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc overtook him. Joshua finally had to pit. To help Joshua regain position, Sunny slowed a Ferrari exiting the pit lane. Joshua and Sunny ran P3 and P4. Because others still needed to pit, Joshua jumped back to P1. All he had to do was hold the lead, but his tires were worn. Ferrari and Mercedes were relentless, and Joshua would eventually have to pit again. Ruben's hope was fading. Then George Russell collided with Sunny. When Ruben saw the crash, he called it a miracle. The race was red flagged, temporarily stopped. This gave every car a chance to make repairs. More importantly, it meant Joshua and Sunny both got fresh tires. Now, they could take the fight to the front, but the accident raised questions. Did Sunny cause it intentionally? After review, the decision favored Sunny. No penalty was given. The race restarted. Hamilton led in P1. Leclerc was P2. Joshua and Sunny followed in P3 and P4 with fresh tires. Sunny again began helping Joshua push forward. Together, they left Leclerc behind. Now, only Lewis Hamilton stood between them and victory. But to pass Hamilton, one of them had to sacrifice. Sunny chose that role. He slowed Hamilton down, giving Joshua the lead. Hamilton fought back, overtook Sunny, and challenged Joshua for P1. In the fierce battle, Hamilton and Joshua collided, both forced out. That left Sunny in P1, and in that moment, he finally found the piece he'd been searching for. He raced down the track like lightning. Sunny crossed the finish line and fulfilled his dream. Everyone erupted with joy. Joshua was happy too. Ruben secured 3 more years with the team. Peter's plan failed utterly. But even after winning, Sunny refused to touch the trophy. He simply said goodbye to Kate and walked away from it all. His deal was complete, and with that, his chapter ended, and with that, friends, this story comes to a close. Let us know how you like the explanation in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.